leasing this morning.
We are, and I also want to make sure everybody knows we're under a total revamp of the autoschool.com website, so stay tuned for that. Keep checking that out. If you know someone who's going to buy a car, it doesn't matter where they buy it from. Again, if you want them to get assisted and get information that's very important to them, theautoschool.com is the site. It's got all the links you want to go to, so I urge everybody to go to that. Plus, there's about 30 television shows and about 25 different radio shows that have all kinds of topics, and it may apply to you. So leasing, we're talking today, but you know what? Leasing may be the furthest thing from your mind, but you may be wanting a certified car. We got a show on the website about certified vehicles and what to look for. So, but as it relates to leasing, we're talking about some of the advantages and so forth of leasing. A couple things I'll start off with. And then I'll kind of end with your options. I think that's important. But the one thing that's nice about leasing that a lot of people don't realize is when you buy an automobile, one of the things that I would never urge anybody to do is to buy a car without gap insurance. We've talked about gap insurance.
Right.
If you don't know what that is, basically that's something that you purchase either at a credit union or bank or dealership with your financing that covers the gap between what you owe and what the car is worth in a total loss situation. So you just buy a car, you finance $20,000, you hit a deer 7 days later, and State Farm appraises the car for $17,000. If you don't have gap insurance, you've got to pay for the difference before you can even start to think about getting another car. That's a bad situation, and something you didn't even, it's an unfortunate situation.
But because a lot of people just don't know about it.
They don't know about gap insurance, so it's very, very important that you have gap. Well, the one nice thing about gap insurance is it's included in a lease. It's nothing you pay for. The reason why it's included is because you and the lender are jointly co-buying this automobile for the term that you guys have agreed upon, and they want to protect themselves as much as you. But that's good for you, because if something were to happen, if you were to total loss the car in theft, collision, or an accident, and you have a deficit, which, by the way, keep in mind, when you buy an automobile, you will always have negative equity unless you put cash down. And when I say cash, I mean cash. I'm talking 3, 4, 5 grand. When you pull the car off the lot, you lose 3 grand right when you pull it off, at a minimum. And remember, it's like a roller coaster. The first 3 years, the car is going to be worth half what the sticker was.
Right.
So think of the drop it takes on a 20 grand car. In 3 years, it's worth 10. So it's almost $3,000 a year. So gap insurance is extremely important. Again, like I said, no incentive on mine whether because you can get gap at Robbins or State Farm, or you can get gap many other places besides the dealership, and you can also do it at the dealership. So that's one advantage of leasing that I want you to be aware of. We've got several more when we come back from the break, so stay tuned. We've got a lot of good information on leasing.
Okay, and when you, the time to talk about gap insurance is before you drive off. You got to get it done, right?
That's exactly right. Yeah,
Okay.
you need to put the gap insurance is done at the time of signing. So
Gotcha.
whether it's at a bank, a credit union, or a dealership, that's when you put the gap insurance in.
All right, thank you. We'll be back 8:30 Country 102 WK.